Hey guys, we're back.
Hey, we're back for another good episode of Anything and Everything. So today we're going to be talking about capacity.
What's capacity?
Capacity is I was thinking in my head, but capacity is basically the amount of what's within something. You know what I'm saying? How much room or how much space or how much room, I guess, there is for something. You know, so if you have a cup, you know how different cups or mugs have like 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 32 ounces, all that extra stuff. The capacity of that cup is 32 ounces.
How much you can hold.
How much you can hold, that's it. How much something can hold, that is the capacity of it, right? And then it can't give you more than what it can hold. It can't give you more than what it have room for, right? So when I think about capacity, I was thinking more in lines of people and the expectations that we have of people in our lives and the people around us, and the fact that sometimes we can become disappointed because somebody didn't give us what we expected, but it was outside of their capacity.
That's good.
You know, so when you have relationships with people, whether it's dating, whether it's on the job, whether it's friendships, you have to ask God for discernment, the spirit of discernment, to discern those people or persons' capacity. You know, that way you don't expect something that they just don't have the ability to give to you. You know, they may want to, but they don't have room. They can't give it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we get disappointed and frustrated with people when they don't do or they don't respond or they don't act a certain way, but they literally just don't have it within them to do it, you know, or to give it. You know, people could only give of what they have, the capacity to give. You know, they can't go beyond that. And case in point, at work sometimes, or not even at work, but in different relationships, sometimes we expect people to give more than what we know they have the capacity to give. You know, it's almost like, you know, certain people is going to flip out at certain times for certain reasons, for certain things is going to trigger them a certain way. You know, we don't want to put them in those situations because they don't have the capacity to deal with it in a mature way. Right? They're going to flip out. There's going to become an argument. There's going to be misunderstandings. So what do? You know the relationships that you have. You know the people that you have relationships with. And you just don't expect more than what they can deliver. Now, does it mean that you don't have belief in those people? It doesn't mean that. It just means that based on their track record, based on who they are, you know what they could do and what they can't necessarily do. So you don't get upset when they don't do what you know they can't do.
Yeah, I think when I think about that situation, it reminds me of my dad. And I don't mean to overuse this example, but I remember a time where we would try to explain things our point of view and try to get him to see it, and then he just wouldn't get it no matter how much we tried to explain it to him. And I just realized that he doesn't have the capacity to understand things, and I don't think he ever will right now, at least, be able to see things how we see it.
Yeah. And sometimes with capacity, I think it's sometimes from the perspective of being in relationships, it could be that people have a made-up mind, and once their mind is made up a certain way and they believe a certain way, you're not going to change that belief, you know. Unless something major happens, you're not going to change the fact that they believe they're right about this one thing. It's almost like, have you ever talked to, I know you're pretty young, so I don't know if you've ever had this, but I've had situations either at work or at the store talking to somebody who were, ignorant of a situation. Not saying that they're dumb, they were just ignorant of this particular scenario or situation or whatever it is we were discussing. And regardless of how you try to explain it to them, if they believe ignorantly whatever it is that they believe, you can't change their minds. Their minds is completely made up, and that's it, you know. And unless they are willing to open their minds, unless they're willing to see something a different way, they're not gonna do it, and then you can become frustrated if you want them to so bad, that it's almost like you want to will them into understanding. They're never gonna understand. You're gonna hurt yourself trying to make them understand your position when they've already made a decision that they believe what they believe. And coming back to the whole thing of being able and asking God to help you discern what in your different relationships and friendships, what the people that you're having relationships with have the capacity for and what they don't. And even for us, sometimes we just don't have the capacity for certain things. Yes, we pray that God increases our capacity. It's almost like when you work in 2 jobs and you got all these additional tasks, you may find yourself saying, hey, I don't have capacity to do anything else. If I take anything else on, it might fail or fall. I'm going to drop the ball because I just can't do more. But we can also pray to God, increase my capacity to handle more, increase my capacity to grow and become more, right? But in looking at the relationships that you have, is being able to say, am I expecting more of someone that they can truly give? Because sometimes people just don't have it in them to give what we want them to give to us. And that causes a lot of frustration and resentment and arguments and stuff like that in relationships. And sometimes relationships go south because of it. Not only woman intimate relationships, but parenting. It's almost like sometimes parenting, I have to realize that you guys are young adults and you don't have the capacity right now to see everything the way that I see it.
Yeah.
And I would drive myself crazy if I expected the same level of maturity or the same level of accountability that I would have at my age with my experience and with everything that I know that you just don't know is it. You don't have the capacity, So I have to deal in grace and patience with you. And the same way when you're at work, you may have coworkers that just keep messing up or they just keep doing something that you don't, okay, maybe I have to change my expectations of this person, So that's the whole thing about capacity. I don't know how this conversation came about, but we were talking about something and then we just started talking about capacity and we decided, hey, that would be a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
Even though I felt like I talked the most, Jazmine.
That's usually how our conversations go. You're older and wiser, so you have more knowledge to give and impart into me. So.
And I appreciate you always being willing to listen.
Yeah.
You look so polite today with your poppy collar. Let me poppy collar, girl. You look so cute today. Don't she look cute, guy?
Stop it.
And but I do because I think it's it's very, very fortunate for me that you seek wisdom. Because not everybody your age really want to hear what someone older has to say. Okay.
Always her phone going off.
Okay.
I'm going to make a reel about all the times her phone's gone off.
No, it was my alarm, but you know what I realized? You guys turned my alarm off when I was in Belize.
Yeah. You can turn it back on. I thought you were going to turn it back on.
I did not know you guys turned it off. I thought y'all were joking. Y'all actually turned it off. And then when I missed my prayer time a few mornings, not only did you turn off the one that go off at 1, but y'all turn off the one that goes off in the morning for my prayer time. And when I missed a few prayer time, I was like, they turned my alarms off. I went to my alarm to figure out what was happening. Every last one of them was off. And I had to put them back on.
I thought you saw us.
So there, that was my alarm. But yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. You're gonna go far just being able to listen to what this old gal has to say. But that is it. That is our episode of Anything and Everything. That's all for today. Let us know what you guys think about capacity. What you guys think about what we're talking about, you know, and having a realistic expectation for the people in your life, being able to gauge all your relationships across the board and having a realistic understanding of what the people around you can give, and when it's too much, and when they just don't have it in them to understand, or they don't have it in them to give you what you're expecting of them. Let us know. Chitty chat. I don't know what that was, but bye before I say something else crazy.
Bye.
See you later.